Hey guys, this is Mark here with Video Game Valhalla. Today I just wanted to do a real quick video. I've been playing the new game, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, and I've been having a ton of fun, but recently I ran into a little bit of a glitch that I realized was kind of changing my whole game experience. So I just wanted to go a little bit into that. Okay, so to start, the glitch I ran into, you don't really notice anything huge off the bat. It wasn't so game-breaking at first that I even knew anything was wrong. I'm new to the game, so obviously I don't have the experience to know what the game should actually feel like. But I started to notice some weird things. For example, kind of the whole time I've been playing, I've been noticing that it seems like I get knocked around just a little bit more than everyone else. It seems like sometimes I go flying a little bit further than other people from the same jumps, which doesn't seem to quite add up. What really made me stop and pause is I was playing this slime level. Basically, the goal is you start at the bottom, try to race your way up to the top. Obviously, I'm not the top here or anything like that, but I'm okay enough. And then I get to this pipe portion, and I just couldn't move forward. I tried this level a few different times. Since I'm new, I chalked it up to just me not being particularly good. But I literally could not get across these pipes. So yeah. I was like, am I just terrible? Because you'll notice right there, I was just holding straight and then I just fall off the edge of the pipe. So it was like, I'm new to the game. I'm like, obviously there's some trick everyone else is getting. I'm not getting. I'll pick it up. I thought that was weird, but I kept trying that one. It wasn't blatant enough for me to know what was wrong. However, the real issue came about when I was trying to play the game Tiptoe. Basically in this game, you just sneak across these little tiles. You can't tell what the correct path is when you start, so you kind of try to hang back and let other people find the path for you, and then you just move along the path. Now, when I was playing this level, I kept noticing that I would go flying all of a sudden. Like, if I just tried to walk along the path, you'll see I start slipping along, while you don't really see anybody else reacting that way. So I played this game about 4 times, losing every time, of course. At first I was like, maybe I'm walking too fast, maybe I'm just supposed to sneak along. Then I was like, maybe I'm supposed to hop from square to square. But as you can see, pretty much no matter how I move, I just go sliding. And so after about the 4th time on this one, losing, I went looking for some strategies online to see if maybe I didn't understand how the game was working or if there's a button I was supposed to hold. And basically the strategies are walk along the path. It's easy. So I went and did some research, and while you can't find a ton, I saw some people alluding to that there is a frame rate issue on the Tiptoe game. And so I changed my settings, turned my frame rate down from 240 hertz, which I had it at, down to 120 hertz. Obviously, this YouTube video is in 60 hertz, 60 frames per second, but the actual game itself, when I recorded, was at 240 hertz. So by changing it down to 120, I noticed the physics problems disappear. All of a sudden I can play in Tiptoe, I don't go sliding off the edge, I can walk across the pipes on the slime world. But the really funny thing is, there's actually a ton of little physics interactions that completely change that I thought were a little weird when I was playing, but I had just gotten used to them. And then now I've had to relearn the game again, essentially. You'll see these a lot when you go jumping into a hill. With the frame rate at 240 hertz, you kind of slam into the hill and go flying backwards, whereas at a lower frame rate, when you jump on a hill, you essentially just, stop, like you would expect. Another funny thing is the interactions with how quickly you start moving when you're at 240 hertz. It doesn't seem like you run any faster, but when you bump into something, you bump much faster. Here you can see that in the 240 frame per second footage, when I go up to the disc, I get thrown very violently, whereas in the normal version, I barely move at all. There is an achievement called Troublemaker. Bump into 3 people while rolling on the ground before getting up. Generally kind of hard to bump into people while you're rolling on the ground. I don't really know how to bump into 3 people on purpose. As you can see, only 0.2% of the player base has this achievement. So this leads me to the conclusion that it is probably very difficult to bump into 3 people while rolling around on the ground normally, but due to my weird physics, it's easier for me to stay on the ground, because I noticed sometimes I just keep rolling on the ground and I wouldn't be able to, get up nearly as fast as anybody else. So although I do not know the underlying mechanics of how this game works, this is obviously a frame rate issue, probably related to the physics in the game being tied into the frame rate. Back in the old days, games used to be programmed specifically for a certain computer clock cycle speed, and you would kind of see this happen if you played a game from an old computer on a new computer, where all of a sudden this physics and everything else would happen 10 times as fast. Obviously the whole game isn't tied into the frame rate here, but there is something tied into the frame rate that's causing the physics to go wonky. It's causing an extreme acceleration, probably relating to something being checked 240 times per second instead of only 120. The fix for this problem is simple. Click on the gear at the top of the screen, click on graphics settings, and then go ahead and change your resolution. Currently I have mine on 1920 by 1080 at 240 Hertz. You need to change that to something that has a lower frame rate. So I went ahead and chose 1920 by 1080 at 120 Hertz. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you need any help getting your game working, I'd be glad to help. And thank you for watching Video Game Valhalla.